Hello, I'm Michelle Conway. I'm 63 years old and I have had Parkinson's for 24 years. I was 39 when I was diagnosed in 1995. As you may wonder what all this extra movement is about, it's called dyskinesia. It's caused by the medicine that we are given by the doctors to take as anti-Parkinson's medication to manage our Parkinson's, but unfortunately it has all these other side effects like looking like an orangutan, psychiatric and psychological problems, to name but a few: excessive gambling, excessive shopping, hypersexuality, and that sort of thing. Okay, now the reason for this video clip is to bring an awareness to people who suffer with it under the misconception that Parkinson's diseases can be caught. In other words, if I breathe on you, you can catch it. A lot of people think like that. That's absolute nonsense. You can get Parkinson's for idiopathic reasons, which is no known cause. Easy way to say I don't know. And also through your genes, through your family, your genealogy of your family. If there's any traces of Parkinson's disease anywhere in your family, there's a possibility you can get, but it's not a given. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. But anyway, by the time you get it, you've had it 10 years anyway, unnoticed. So you cannot even stop it at a point where you know you've got it. Okay, now I'd like to touch on the clinical trials in Bristol, headed by Dr. Wone and I think it's Peter Gill, the surgeon who did all the surgery. Essentially what this means is that they discovered a drug called GNLD in America 27 years ago, which revived dying neurons, cells in the brain, which produce dopamine, which causes Parkinson's. That they know. It also but unfortunately Parkinson's is in other areas of the brain, cognitive functions in the advanced stages. So anyway, what happened was that Dr. Wone put out a notification for people to apply for brain surgery, which would involve the insertion of catheters, I think it was, deep into the brain, and then the new drug would be what's the word I want? Infused into the brain, and they would monitor the progress. And at the end of it, an ethics committee who would monitor the whole process would decide on the results whether it was fair. Now, what they said was that it had to exceed the placebo value, which was used in the trial, by 20%. Now, firstly, what I'm vexed with, what my mind doesn't understand is, if Dr. Wone was in charge of selections, he put out a selection criteria of people between brand new Parkinson's, in other words, newly diagnosed, and midway Parkinson's. He didn't want advanced because in advanced patients like me, your brain cells that produce dopamine have all but been depleted. There's nothing to work with. But in midway and mild, there's a lot of scope. Not many brain cells have been destroyed or are dying, and therefore the new drug would respond well to those people who had an abundance of dopamine producing cells. The advanced people, I'm afraid, were out from the beginning. But however, Dr. Wone included clearly some advanced patients in there, at least one, who battled to walk and who was basically the highlight of the show. I don't want to suggest that or diminish any grief on the part of his widow or anything like that, but and I certainly know how much he suffered, and let's hope he's in a nice, peaceful place now. My wishes go to his widow, who is marvelous. She's coped so well, and of course to him, what a terrible time he had. So sad and so hopeless, and being on a drug from start, the new drug, when it didn't show any effect, was very sad for me. But anyway, my point being, names and people aside, the inclusion of advanced patients was going to bring the score down. I'll tell you why just now. they added up all the GNLD scores, including, it was everyone, the advanced stage, the midway, and the brand new. Now, incidentally, the brand new and midway showed astronomical improvements. They were running around and painting and laughing and joking. To them, Parkinson's disease is gone, and on the face of it, it appeared as though that it was gone, because there was no evidence of any tremors or anything like that. Obviously, the damage was whatever how it started is still there, but what obviously happened was that GNLD revived the dying brain cells to a point that these people could function normally. Now, when the crunch came to decide if this could continue with any Parkinson patients, this is where the trouble came. All the scores were added up, bad and new, bad and improved. And what happened was that where the good scores were added up, the bad scores pulled it down. Now, Dr. One must have seen this, must have known this before, must have realized this would happen if he chose an advanced patient. So I'm putting out a challenge, or at least a query, for someone to please tell me how advanced patients were included in a program which was designed for midway patients and mild patients, when it was obvious that the bad scores would bring it down. Secondly, how is this 20% that the ethics committee derived as a target to decide whether or not the trials would go on? I don't understand this, because is it a thumbs up, one of those, or did they use empirically assessed data? I'd like to know, please. Can someone please tell me? Thirdly, the what's the word I want? Entry of a big pharmaceutical group to support the research process would have meant millions and millions of pounds. Now, there must have been a contract in place when that happened. You don't just go into a venture without a contract. Someone must have had to sign a contract to say, we will be here for 6 months, or we will be here for 12 months, whatever the case. That big pharmaceutical group marched in, they declared their support, and then as soon as the failure was announced, they were gone. They then declared, that's it. Now, how is it possible that a company can just walk in and out like that and not even bear the consequences? There must have been penalty clauses, or there should have been penalty clauses to prevent people like this the biggest pharmaceutical group in the world to just pull out. Do we just accept that they can walk out and leave people hanging in the lurch that possibly hanging on for the support, new jobs, whatever, for the research process, and then they're just gone? I need that's a challenge to anyone within that pharmaceutical group to please tell me how it was possible that you could have walked in and walked out with ease, and with no contractual obligations being fulfilled. Okay, that's all for me. You'll see after this movie clip various stages of my illness, so you can see exactly what we go through. Take care. Bye.